Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Kiger, and up here today, guys, with another game review. Well, opinions on the game, as we say. Today, guys, we are talking about Toukiden Kiwammi. Yes, guys, it is time to do a review of a JRPG. Well, what could be classed as a JRPG, in my opinion. Now, this game is part of the Koei Tecmo family, and it's actually made by Omega Force. Now, that's kind of weird because Omega Force are well known for making the Warrior series. And this game isn't actually nothing like a Warriors game. Now, I know in Japan they had games similar to this style of game, which actually was part of the Warrior series. So it doesn't surprise me that they actually classed this game in the sort of same company who did the Dynasty Warriors series and any Warriors game, so to say. Now, this game actually is actually surprised me actually because normally I'm not overly big on JRPGs, and like I said, I am starting to broaden my horizons when it comes to gaming at the moment and trying to play some different styles of game. And I've got to say, this one's a good one to start with if you're into JRPGs, but you're not into JRPGs and you want to try something that's kind of like a JRPG without being too heavily based on, text and story, because that's a problem with a lot of JRPGs. There's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of story, and a lot of text-based reading, and I don't have an issue with that sort of thing anymore, but some people don't like that sort of thing. But this game seems to find a fine balance between story and gameplay. Now, the whole story in this game is, without giving too much away, is basically you're part of this group called the Slayers, and you have to take on Oni, which in Japanese, Oni is, in Japanese culture, an Oni is a demon. Now, the whole idea in this game is these demons can basically eat people and take their souls of fallen warriors and things like that. So the whole idea is you're basically trying to rescue them and defend your village and that sort of thing. So it's that kind of story. But like I said, the story isn't overly too in-depth. So you can follow the story nice and easy without having to be lost in this whole heavy story-based game. Now, there is a fair share of text and reading and story to the game, but like I said, it doesn't feel like it overtakes the game. You still feel like you're playing a game, at least. Now, that being said, I want to start off by saying that this game is very similar to the Monster Hunter format. For those of you who have never played a Monster Hunter game, basically the whole idea of the Monster Hunter game is you've got these different parts of the battlefield, and you have to hunt these giant monsters, and with a group of people, and take them down like piece by piece. And this game sort of uses a very similar format to Monster Hunter. Which obviously, like I said, I don't think that format is owned by anyone per se, but it's, as soon as I played this game, I instantly thought Monster Hunter. Now, I've never played a Monster Hunter game before, so this is a great game for people who've never played a game like Monster Hunter but want to get into that sort of thing, because playing this definitely opens up my horizons to want to play a Monster Hunter game. What I really enjoy about this game is that it's not too in-depth. For a lot of JRPGs are very heavily based on the RPG element and having to, know each piece and upgrade and things like that. But this game, it seems in-depth enough for it to be not basic, but easy to understand. It doesn't seem like this game tries to throw too much at you at one time, so you don't feel like lost or anything, or like you need a walkthrough or anything to try, or a wiki or something to try and figure out what each thing does. It's set into sort of two parts. You have the village part where you can go off and upgrade your armor, upgrade your weapons, speak to people, buy materials, go and do all that sort of stuff and prepare. And then you have your battle stages where you go into the battle arena and you have to hunt down each, mission. So each mission might be something different. So one mission could be survive for 5 minutes or something like that, or another mission could be take down one of the bosses. So It's sort of, there's two kinds of enemies in this game. There's the small enemies, and then there's the big giant Onis, which you have to take down piece by piece. Excuse me. I really do like that sort of style, actually, and like I said, it definitely opened my horizons to try out, you know, more games like this sort of thing. This game definitely has a lot of value in terms of replay value, but what I like about this game is it's not a grindy game. It doesn't seem like you have to keep doing the same mission over and over and over again to level up. There isn't really a level up system in this game. The only sort of excuse me, the only sort of grinding thing in this game is getting materials to sort of upgrade your weapons and upgrade your armor, and do quests, which are basically, you know, find certain items for people and that sort of thing. I really do like this game, actually. The characters, I wouldn't say are too memorable. Like I said, it's not heavily story driven, which I like, actually. It seems like this game has more gameplay to it than story, which I don't mind at all. But there's a nice fine balance, it seems. I think Toukiden Kiwammi is a great game for people who, excuse me, want to get into a JRPG or try something similar to Monster Hunter without having to go like, it's more towards a hardcore JRPG Monster Hunter-esque fan. It's a nice beginner's game, actually. The game has a nice amount of challenge to it without it being too hard. The challenge definitely ramps up as you go on, which I do like. It's not one of those games that you're going to instantly die straight away over and over and over again. But it's definitely a game that you need to sort of try and plan what you're doing, and sort of before you go into the battle, make sure you definitely, you know, are equipped and things like that. There's a nice fine selection of different weapons to choose from, so each weapon is its own sort of style of combat, so there is some replay value in that sort of sense. So if you want to play the game as a different sort of class, you can, but there isn't a class system per se, so the game doesn't sort of lock you in as a certain class. It definitely, you know, if you want to go with the rifle one battle, you can, but then if you want to go with the dual knives, which is what I'm using, you can swap that up. The combat isn't too in-depth. It's a simple 3-button combat. So square is your basic attack, triangle is your heavy attack, and circle is your special ability, and then you can press the buttons together to do different abilities and combos and things like that. And then and how it works is you have these things called Mietama, or Maitama, or whatever it's called, I forget, which are basically like the souls of the fallen warriors, which you collect from the enemies. When you kill an enemy, you basically have to do this cleansing thing where you basically cleanse them from the battlefield. You get an item from them, and sometimes you'll get one of these souls. And then the souls are basically your abilities, your special abilities. And like I said, there's different classes to each soul. So there's attack ones, there's defense ones, there's you know, spell classes, and then there's healing classes, which is what I'm using. Definitely the healing class definitely helps out a lot. Good thing about this game is you can play it single player, which is what I'm doing, but you can also play it online. Now, I don't think there's many people playing online, but if you've got some friends to play it with, I would definitely try and recommend getting a few people to play it with. If anyone's actually got this game, let me know in the comments below. I wouldn't mind playing this with someone else. This game is dirt cheap. I got it for £5, and for the amount of content that's in this game, it definitely has a lot more content. Now, I think the original was on PS3 or PS Vita, I can't remember. But there's a lot more content in this one. There's some extra modes, some extra content, more weapons and stuff like that. I don't know how... This game's about, I think, about 18 to 20 hours long. It's not the longest in the JRPG series, but again, it's one of those games that you can play at your own expense. You don't feel like you need to keep playing it to get the most out of it. I'm playing it a couple of hours each day kind of thing, or coming back to it every other day. And, you know, you just keep moving forward. And I like that. I like the format. It's nothing too overly complicated. It's a nice and easy game to get into. But at the same time, if you're a fan of JRPGs, you won't feel disappointed. Again, Koei Tecmo are one of my favourite developers, so I feel like it's I don't know why, maybe it's just because I'm quite partial to the Warrior series, but it's nice to try out a game that's made by the same company. And it definitely feels like it is a Koei Tecmo game. You know, it's got the Japanese voice acting, and, you know, it's got a lot of references and a lot of characters that you go, oh yeah, this guy's in Samurai Warriors or something like that. And it definitely feels like a Koei Tecmo Omega Force game. But it doesn't feel like it's completely different. You know, it's different enough to be its own series. And I'm looking forward to finishing this game. Definitely moving on to the second one in the future. I have played a little bit of the demo of the second one. And the second one definitely seems like it's going to up the ante on the combat. The combat is not basic, but it's basic enough for you to understand. It's nothing too complex, which is this. Like I said, this is a great game for beginners and new people to the Monster Hunter / JRPG format. I'd recommend it to people that are looking for something to get into JRPGs without, you know, being a too complicated game. If I was to give it a rating, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. It's definitely up there for me. I know that seems quite hard to some people, but I'd give this game about an 8 out of 10. If you're into JRPGs, check it out. If you're looking to try something different from Koei Tecmo, check it out. And of course, if you're just looking for something to get into JRPGs, also check it out. I'd recommend buying this game rather than borrowing it, because there's enough content for you to keep playing it. So I'm looking forward to, you know, carrying on, finishing it. I'm actually playing it right at this moment. So hopefully, guys, I will be able to get this game finished before I move on to the next game. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and of course comment below. Let me know if you've played this game, if you own it and want to play it with me. Comment as well, guys, because I wouldn't mind playing this with some other people. And of course, guys, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. And as always, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye bye.